Okay, so I decided to make another video of the rest of the ingredients for the Keto Big Mac Casserole. And so it calls for the garlic in the skillet with the beef. Let me move this over here and put the camera down here. Okay. So put the garlic in here. So it called for 1 garlic clove. And this is one of our scrapers. There's like 4 different sizes. And yeah, I stuck it in with the mixer like a dummy and it messed it up. So I need to get that one replaced. And then it says to cook that together for about a minute, the garlic and the hamburger. I should put more garlic in there than that. We love garlic. And then it calls for 4 tablespoons of cream cheese. So there's the 4 tablespoons of cream cheese. And then it calls for 2 tablespoons of sugar-free ketchup. Probably should have cut this into smaller pieces and let it thaw out longer. This is doing good. Tablespoons of sugar-free ketchup. We love G. Hughes, so we buy his products quite often. He's got good honey mustard, teriyaki sauce, barbecue sauce for ribs. These are the adjustable measuring spoons. They come in a set of 2, and this is the tablespoon one, and it adjusts. So really you're getting 10 different spoons, but just 2 for 2. And the black little sliders come off. They're dishwasher safe. So the teaspoon one is 3/4 teaspoon, a 1/2 teaspoon, a 1/4 teaspoon, and an 1/8. And then this is a tablespoon, or it's a teaspoon, 1.5 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons, and it even has the milliliters as well, which is nice, so metric and customary. So it calls for 2 tablespoons of sugar-free ketchup. Oh, land sakes, it came out quick. 1. I'm not going to put as much there. And then it calls for mustard, a tablespoon of yellow mustard. And it calls for a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. I don't know who opened this, but it is a mess. Oh, it's not even open. There's still the seal around it. Really? Okay, so again, this is a Keto Big Mac Casserole. I didn't quite have 1.5 pounds of hamburger, so we'll see how this turns out. It called for 1.5 pounds of hamburger, but I had a little bit less than that. All right, so after the Worcestershire, it calls for seasoned salt, and it calls for just a teaspoon of that. And this just came out in the fall with Pampered Chef, our new seasoning salt. I make a mistake of putting it over when the heat is coming up and the steam from the my dishes, so then it gets hard and clumpy. So I'd recommend please don't do that like I did. because then I have to hit it on the counter to break it up. I'm sure y'all are wiser than that. And then let's see. Stirring constantly until it's combined, and then it asks you to put it in an 8x8 baking dish. And then it calls for 4 medium eggs to be cracked in a small bowl, and then you whisk together the eggs with the heavy cream until it's combined. Put in the pepper and the hot sauce with that, and then you pour the egg mixture over the beef and the baking dish, and then you put the cheese on top. And it calls for 4 ounces of shredded cheese on top. And then you put it in the oven for 30 minutes at 350 degrees. That cream cheese, I need to let it soften more. There's 4 eggs in here, and this is in the 3-cup prep bowl. And it calls for how much heavy whipping cream? A 4th cup. And I'm gonna make it, put this in a bigger bowl. That'll be easier to whisk that way. So this is the mini measure cup. Isn't that adorable? So it's exactly a 4th cup, and it has ounces on here too, up to 2 ounces. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna do a little bit less since I don't have quite that much hamburger of the heavy cream. And then it says to mix that together until it's combined, and then stir in pepper and hot sauce. So how much pepper it calls for? A teaspoon of pepper, and then a teaspoon of hot sauce as well. So I have the Frank's hot sauce here. Where'd my teaspoon go? So a teaspoon of hot sauce. Careful with this. And a teaspoon of pepper. Pepper stuck in there pretty bad. Alright, so again, this is 4 eggs, a 4th cup of heavy cream, and pepper, a teaspoon of pepper, and then a teaspoon of the hot sauce. So I'm going to take this hamburger mixture and go ahead and put it in the 8x8 baking dish. So my friend that shared this with me said that her kids and her family absolutely loved it. And I hope it's good, even though I didn't quite have enough hamburger that it called for. I have so many dishes to wash. mixture on top. And then it calls for cheese. Where do we set the cheese? I don't know why. I never buy medium cheese, but I happened to buy that this time. And it says to put it on top, and it says 4 ounces. Well, we love cheese, so I'm not gonna measure it out. I'm just gonna cover it. All right, and then it says put it in the oven for 350, at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set my timer and get that going. And then the Big Mac sauce. You rinse this bowl. So it calls for half a cup of mayonnaise. So this is the measure-all cup, and it has solids and liquids. So the solids is good for like peanut butter, sour cream, ketchup, mayonnaise, mustard, flour, lots of different items. And what I like about it, oh, and you have liquids in this side too. So it's nice, and you can just pop it in there, and you can use the scraper to get that. So that way you're getting all of it. It's really easy. And these scrapers work so nice. Like my mayonnaise is almost out, and I was able to really scrape around and get all the mayonnaise. So it helps you not to be wasteful. And then it calls for 2 tablespoons of sugar-free ketchup again. So I gotta be careful with this time so it doesn't clump out. 1, 2, and it calls for 2 tablespoons of dill relish. So I don't have dill relish, we just have sweet relish. So what I'm doing is I put some dill hamburger chips in the food chopper, and I'm just chopping those up to make the dill relish. So I hope that's gonna be, it'll be fine. And it calls for 2 tablespoons. Let's see how this is gonna. That's 1. Hopefully this will make 2 tablespoons. That's close enough. And put the rest of the juice in there. Get the rest of this. I don't want to be wasteful. So if you don't have the food chopper, that was like one of my very first products that I ordered, bought from Pampered Chef in 2000. And they are the food chopper's dishwasher safe. Just keep it from the heating element. All right, so I did the 2 tablespoons of dill relish, then 2 teaspoons of mustard. And this is for the Big Mac sauce. So 1, oops, running low on my mustard too. 2, I forgot, instead of just tapping it, you can just push it out. All right, and then 2 teaspoons of distilled white vinegar, a half a teaspoon of onion powder, and a half a teaspoon of paprika. So here is the paprika, half a teaspoon. Will probably stick in here. I should take it to the sink and wash it out. All right, half a teaspoon of paprika, push, and then a half a teaspoon of onion powder. it's really clumped together and old. I need to update my spices. I think I got this from Food Lion, but it's gotten clumped up as well. It's hardly coming out. All right, we're gonna call that enough for the onion powder. I need to toss that and buy a new one. And then the vinegar, 2 teaspoons. So I don't have any white, so I'm just gonna use my apple cider and hopefully it's good. So 1, 2. Ooh, I have a sneeze coming on. Excuse me. Excuse me. I can never just sneeze one time. All right, so it says to mix this up really good. And again, this is the Big Mac sauce for our Keto Big Mac Casserole. All right, so it says we put the beef in the 8x8 baking dish. We cracked the eggs and the heavy whipping cream, put it on top with pepper and hot sauce. We poured the egg mixture in there. All right, so to serve, you're gonna cut the casserole into 6 pieces, it says. Cut the casserole into 6 pieces, top each serving with the lettuce, the pickles, the onions, and the sesame seeds as desired, and then drizzle with the Big Mac sauce. And again, this is what the picture looks like. So I hope mine turns out like that as well. So thanks for watching, and I will post a picture in the comments. Have a great night.